and designed just for us. First, get your T levels checked. Free testosterone test at their in-house lab. Then you meet with a licensed provider to create a customized plan. And finally, you'll get those fast weekly treatments. After a month, you're going to notice a difference. More energy, better mood, and a kick in your libido. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Call Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better at Game Day.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, after getting thumped by the Rockets last night, the San Antonio Spurs are back in action tonight as they take on the Trailblazers in a battle of 3 and 5 teams out at the Frost Bank Center. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock. Cowboys have announced they have re-signed cornerback Andrew Booth to the practice squad after he was released earlier this week. And in other NFL news, Panthers running back Chuba Hubbard has agreed to a 4-year, $33.2 million extension.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up,
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether it is on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be tuned in via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you're watching live on our YouTube feed. All of our shows stream live on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along with all of our shows. Fred Records, Fred Robert Casares Jr. already in the chat, including Fred wanting to know who he should pick between Lions and Texans. Look, take the Lions at this point. They're playing possibly the best football in the NFL right now. And if I would power rank how good teams are playing in the NFL right now, it would be the Lions, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. And the Chiefs just continue to find ways to win. Defense, offense, different things. Once they start to all get on the same page and get clicking, that's going to be a really, really scary team, in my opinion, once they actually get things all firing on all cylinders. But Ravens, who play tonight, coming up here at the bottom of the hour, presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, as they take on the Cincinnati Bengals up there in Baltimore. Going to be a good one. Team not playing so well right now would be the Dallas Cowboys. And earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, they were talking about, is it time to start talking about the big T word when you talk about the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't know that the Cowboys have anything to play for this season. I mean, any team in the NFL, if you lose your quarterback, you are downgraded significantly. But I don't know that the Cowboys, even with a starting quarterback, were worthy. I mean, I said it the other day when I didn't know that Dak was going to be out. It didn't make sense to me that the Cowboys were buyers, because I think this thing is done and over with this season.
Well, here's the problem when you go this route. And this is the thing that we never – while the team might be – their playoffs aren't going to happen. Players have contracts with incentives.
Sure.
There are things that, while the team might not be efforting to win, these players need to play.
They're going to play hard.
And they got to go play hard, and they need to have the reps, and they need to be on the field to win. And while the team might go, you know what? It would behoove us to try these other guys, to try these other things. You just can't go into rebuild mode and have your players agree to it. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't go, we're tanking from here on out. Well, the hell we are. If we tank, that might mean that one fewer tackle, one fewer block, one fewer minute, one fewer rep, where you got some incentives built into it. We
But
see it.
as you know, the guys who sign those incentive laden contracts, the guys in the office in the suits upstairs, they may send direction down. Hey, maybe X player doesn't need to be on the field for as many snaps.
What I'm saying is you can do that, but then you just lose the locker room. And then it starts to float around the league. Like if you go play for the Cowboys, things go south, you lose your reps, you lose your check.
Because I think at this point, McCarthy being in the situation he is, where it's hard to imagine that he's going to be the coach next year, the Cowboys as an organization aren't worried about fans turning on him. They don't care.
Well, the thing is, if I'm not going to be back, and I don't know what McCarthy's mindset is, and I don't know what the conversations are, I have no need to develop the guys for the next dude. I'm playing my starters. I'm going to the bitter end here. And I think there's going to be that mentality for a lot of reasons, because one, Jerry spent a crap load of money and boss wants some output. Yeah, I want to see my guys. I don't think we're going to see Dak much, if any at all, but I do think the other guys are going to be expected to be out there, and for one reason or another, going to be out there competing till the last game, just because of the future will be so
final
vague,
bell.
but it's not going to be pretty by any stretch. I don't know, and also on the other side of this, while McCarthy might be gone, there's a lot of other guys that have survived coaches changes and are still here. Because coaches leave, that don't mean they bring everybody back. So you got assistants and things that are working for their gig too. It's not over, but it's over.
They asked Mike McCarthy about if he feels any pressure to at least see what you've got in Trey Lance at some point this year.
No, I don't want to throw it all to the side that you can't. I mean, he takes all the look team reps. I mean, he's great in the room. I'm high on Trey Lance. He's played in a different system in college, went to a little bit of a different system, particularly just take the footwork of, what we're teaching in pass game's different. So he kind of had to start new there. So there's a lot there to work with. And I do enjoy working with him. I'm very, very fond of him. I love his approach, and he's just young and needs an opportunity to play. So, but it's in season. We're competing to win games, and Cooper Rush he's up next.
It's so wild. I mean, if Trey Lance had been a 5th round pick, no one would ever say his name again. He'd be just gone into the ether.
Yeah.
He'd be forgotten. That he was a guy who had some raw talent, and it didn't work out.
At one point, you're not young anymore.
No,
at some point, you've been out of school for 3 years. You're no longer a child. There's things you should know.
You know who he'd be? I'm going to look up and see where this guy is. He'd be Matt Corral, who it looks like plays for the Birmingham Stallions now. Matt Corral, the Ole Miss quarterback.
I could name a bunch of dudes that the Aggie, Kellen Mond. He's Kellen Mond.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he were not a 1st round pick, he'd be Kellen Mond.
Yeah,
that's another great example. Like, who knows where he is? No one would care.
I'm pretty impressed you made it this far.
No one would be saying. No one would be saying like, "Oh, when do we think we'll see more of him?"
Man,
he'd be like, "Oh, man,
it's a testament to the work you've put in. You've made it this far, but you ain't going any further."
I think it's a testament to the physical traits that you have that people still believe maybe there's something they can squeeze out of you.
Right.
When
but
all evidence is that it ain't good.
With Kellen Mond coming back to San Antonio and playing for our other team, we all go, "Hey, that's fantastic!" You know. And if Trey Lance was to go back and play in the Arena League or whatever it is and be successful, everybody go, you made it a long way from South Dakota State or whatever the hell you were. But now, because of where he was drafted, he is a monumental flop.
I always say, if you're a quarterback and you fail with Kyle Shanahan, you ain't gonna make it in this league.
And you know what? He didn't get the bounce that Darnold did.
No.
Darnold improved because of that.
Yeah.
And for those you don't recall, Darnold was 3rd string quarterback with 49ers when last seen. And look at what he did. And Lance didn't benefit by that.
Well, even and I know it's not direct, but Baker going to the Rams at the end of that season and working with McVay, who's it's the same tree.
Truth.
And Baker comes out of the Rams situation and makes himself a ton of money. Like I think that there are guys who can get the best out of almost anyone. And the fact that Kyle Shanahan could not get anything out of Trey Lance. Just tells me Trey Lance can't play.
He might still be a Ram today if someone hadn't offered him a 4th-round pick for him. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, a 49er.
I mean, with the 49, I mean, he might still be there, but the Cowboys gave them a 4th-round pick for him.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, you can have it.
Of course. What clown behavior. Clown behavior. And they asked Trey how he feels about what things are looking like right now. Although my Trey sound has been moved.
It's much like the emergency quarterback. He's probably on the second page holding a clipbook.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, the good news is I do think he'll play. I do think we'll see him in a couple weeks.
Is that good news? Like, was it?
Yeah, he might be good. I doubt it. But at this point, when you're watching a team that is about to either by design or just by circumstance collapse, maybe we get something positive out. Like, as I sit right now, I know going into next season, no matter what occurs on that defense, they've got a guy in DeMarvin Overshown. That guy can play. And maybe there'll be 1 or 2 guys that comes out of the wasteland that is the second half of the season that you figure out, if it comes to it, we can release some of this money. So as Mr. Mingo arrives, if it looks like he is an imminent replacement, that's one less thing they got to search for. And maybe there's some other guys that have been sitting on this bench that will get an opportunity here over the next month. That might prove their value and allow the Cowboys to maybe eliminate some of the salary cap that is just going to be such an albatross starting next year and following for the next 3 until they start kicking the can down the road for a few of these guys.
I said it the other day, I'll say it again. I don't think they want to show too much of Trey Lance because they want to suppress his value on the open market. If they believe there's anything there, if they don't showcase it, they can re-sign him cheaper, lessening the chance they would lose what they did for their 4th-round pick. And maybe next year he can be QB2 when they let Cooper Rush walk after he maybe increases his value during this stretch without Dak Prescott. J4, McCarthy to Lance. Okay, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot. Hey. Lance and McCarthy. Oh, so it's red fish, blue fish, 1 fish, 2 fish. Oh, man, that playbook's got to be super interesting. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys and Trey Lance, will we get to see any of him? Well, the Blitz talked with the man himself, Executive Vice President and COO Stephen Jones, to find out if there's any chance we could see at least a little bit of Trey Lance during this absence of Dak Prescott, and whether Prescott himself will end up on the IR. All that coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I'm released your Thursday night report absolutely free on recorded message line. 1-800-244-5506. Cincinnati at Baltimore tonight is going to be a monster game. I've got the side and total. Cincinnati-Baltimore confirmed analysis plus hoops and college football. That's 5 big plays. John Anthony has you covered. I love to sweep the board. Call now. They're free on recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. John Anthony Sports, #1 against the spread. 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Cincinnati-Baltimore plus college football, hoops, and special prop action. I love to go 5-0 the season free. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group. George Gets Justice. The attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers are proud of their local roots and their deep connection to San Antonio. They stand up for their neighbors, fight for justice, and make sure every voice is heard. When you've been injured in an accident, count on George Salinas Injury Lawyers. George guarantees that you don't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George Gets Justice. GetGeorge.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility. Huddle up, the food's done. Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $1,000. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, U-Haul Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Talk.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me as we get you ready for Thursday night football between the Ravens and Bengals coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Is brought to you by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation in light beer. Earlier this afternoon on the Blitz, Jason and Joe were joined by the executive vice president and chief coordinating officer for the Dallas Cowboys, Stephen Jones, as they talked about a multitude of things, including Dak Prescott, Trey Lance, who we just finished talking about, and team morale. This was Stephen Jones earlier today on the Blitz.
Joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line is Stephen Jones. Stephen, appreciate you jumping on this Thursday. What is the latest on Dak Prescott and the IR conversation?
More than likely he'll be on IR by the end of the week, and we're just making sure we're obviously checking all the options. But I think it's with his situation, it's probably going to be one that is going to be take a full 4 weeks before he could even think about making a return, if not longer.
Stephen, we've heard obviously various reports and stuff. Is this an injury that would require surgery possibly?
At some point it could, yes.
Okay.
But not necessarily immediately. Maybe come back
No,
surgery in the offseason?
No one's recommended it now. It would be just, certainly when he decides, when we decide to really start the rehab hard, it's that, it would ultimately result in a complete tear, the hamstring disconnecting from the bone.
Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys joining us here on the Blitz. With him likely going to the IR, would miss at least 4 games if that were the case. I know a lot of talk this week about how much, if any, will we see of Trey Lance either this Sunday against the Eagles or in the coming weeks. What are the options of not playing Trey Lance? Because I'm thinking, let's see what we have with Trey.
Well, I think all options are on the table right now, and certainly we're talking about that internally as an organization as to what next steps are. Cooper Rush, obviously, everybody believes gives us the best chance to win right now, and but Trey also brings some things to the table that can help us win as well. So we'll continue to look at that, see kind of where we end up, and but both of them do some things really well. Obviously, Trey's very athletic and can do some things as well that can help us.
Stephen, you guys went out and got a wide receiver before the trade deadline, and Jonathan Mingo. I know that you guys had said that there was somebody that you were looking at in the draft. Is he a guy that you expect to come in and help you this year, or was this more of a future trade?
No, it's both. Obviously, the future was a big part of it, and a part of the compensation, the fact that we're going to get a player that got picked. I think he was picked 39th in the draft, and but a guy we had rated that well as well. And so the future is important, but also he's going to bring something to the table. It might not be, he's obviously had his first practice today. He had to go through all the physicals yesterday. And but I know we're still trying to see if we can get some packages for him for this game. But he's a guy who can help us this year as well. But certainly the future was a big part of our decision to go ahead and go get it.
Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Eagles coming to town Sunday. Obviously, the season hasn't gone the way any of us thought it would go. What's the morale like for you guys, not only in the front office, but also in that locker room?
Yeah, I think we've got a great, great group here. Certainly it starts, we certainly have good morale in terms of the front office, Jerry, myself, and Will. We've certainly had our challenges, but we also know, 31 others have their challenges, and no one feels sorry for you in this league. And then, of course, we've got a great coaching staff with Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer, Bones. All those guys have been through this, been around it. Everybody, if you're in this league long enough, you're going to have, seasons where a season where you start off with challenges. So I like our coaching staff. And then, of course, in the locker room itself, the players, I just think we've got a good group of men who want to go to work every day and get better and know, we just need to put it all together, play well, get a win, and then let's see what happens. We've got a lot of football left to play. We got 9 games left, and I do like our group here, and I do like our morale. Obviously, when you're being challenged, everybody wants to step up and compete. I thought CD did a great job, a great example of that. A guy who's been paid, makes money, and there he's out, fighting his ass off when he's in a lot of pain, but, trying to help us make the play that could win the game there at the end. So, I like our group.
That was Stephen Jones. And of course, if you want to hear anything, you can always check it out in our audio vault at powered by AA Best Bail Bonds at sasportstar.com. Stephen Jones is there. John McClain is there. full shows are there, hour by hour breakdowns. So miss anything, go to sasportstar.com, check it out. Up next, we have Ravens, Bengals, Thursday night football right here on San Antonio Sports Star. It is presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Remember, we are your home for Thursday, Monday, and Sunday night football, and of course, the Dallas Cowboys.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Guys, excited to tell you about my friends over at SA Card House. They're located right off of 281 at Bitters, and this is the best card house in all of San Antonio. This is a premier poker experience. I got used to playing online in Vegas, and then every once in a while I'd go out, I'd get in the casino and play cards. I'm so excited to be back in a place where I can get my hands on the cards, sit down at the table, feel the feel of the table, feel those chips. You gotta love it. This is a private social club. They're open 7 days a week, and they're open all